Another amazing week of LEGO creations. In particular, this week we have some very good character builds. As always, remember that every builder and every article mentioned in this video will be linked in the description down below for you to go and check them out. Welcome to a new episode of This Week in Bricks. Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's start as usual from the mocks that I found on Instagram. The first build that to be featured is I Bricked It Up. A very cool profile, interesting builds, and I like in particular these sport related logos that he has built here on his profile. So we have hockey, baseball, American football, and basketball. So these are all US based and they're very well done, and we'll have more about this later in the video section. Now we have a microscale build. This is Corinthianbuilds, a very good builder, microscale build over here with a Midtown Manhattan layout. Very cool. Every building is done slightly different with some interesting technique, and I like in particular the roads with all those street signs and the cars that are basically, I think, tiles or jumper plates that are coming off from the base to make it look like car. Actually, they are only the short side of a tile. Very interesting design choice there. Now let's start to talk about this character that we gonna highlight a lot of them in this video. This is a very good profile, very good builder, Jerac.lego. A lot of amazing stuff, and he has this very interesting character. This is called doll number 2. I don't know what's the source material behind this. Black and white color scheme. The shape of the legs in particular, the pose of this character is very cool. We have some very interesting part usage. You can see also those shoulder pads on top of the shoulder, and we have a black sausage piece for the mouth of this character. Very interesting. Of course, if we're talking about character, we cannot leave out Eerookkonen, another amazing build over here. This is a Supersonic soaring suit, very colorful with those big rotor pieces coming at the back of the head. I also like the design of those kind of orange glasses. Anyway, the parts usage here is amazing, and is a character as always with Heroes build, very poseable with a lot of a very interesting and cool position. Of course, go check out the builder profile. We feature him many times. Now another familiar face. This is Wes Talbot, a designer for the LEGO group, that has another very interesting build. This has been made for Marchikoma. I'm not too familiar, but it's a sort of team meant about these mech type of crab things, I think. Let me know in the comments if you know more about this. This is called the Blue Planet Attacker. I like the vegetation, the flowers, and the one at the back remind me of a set that he designed that I'm building right now, which is a Space Friends rover. Very cool build, by the way. And anyway, we can see this use of very nice parts in Nougat. Again, this creature also quite poseable, and I think it's very cool. Check out this Marchikoma, because there are a few other builders that have submitted some interesting build. Next up is Candy.bricks with a tiny little build about these mushroom sprites. So we are using here the hairpiece of the mushroom sprite CMF minifigure, for which I built a nice habitat quite some time ago, but is using this small character from the Dreams lineup. Of course, with a little bit of vegetation and landscape. I think it's a very clever idea. Now let's move into the article section. We will have more mock later on. So here we have the mock of the week on Tips and Bricks. This is actually a build from last year Rogue Olympics by Moriartus, LEGO designer, and was the winner of last edition of the Rogue Olympic. Here we have this very cool build called Far East Elegance. Now you can see also here they feature some of the other builds from this week of the contest. That the prompt of that week was balance. You can see here my Shaolin monk balancing on a log over there. Last year Rogue Olympics, I end up in 4th place. I had a lot of fun, and we are actually doing the Rogue Olympics now, the new edition. We will have more about that in the contest section later on. Anyway, here you can see some part usage of this very elegant build, and of course go and check out Marcus profile. Recently in particular you can see the very cool trophies that he designed for Brixcalibur. Again, we have a techniques discussion on tips and bricks with Middle Earth, so Lord of the Ring related vignette designed by Grant Davis, another master builder, I would say. Some very cool part usage in every one of these scenes. You can see those interesting shape on the barrels. We are using some cloth pieces for the curtains. Very nice round shaped door over here. And you can move on and scroll on in every one of these. We have good landscape, good building. You can see here the use of the rubber bands for detailing around those columns. Very good. Of course, again, go and check out Builder's Profile, Grant Davis. They also have another technique discussion. Here they feature Evanceltlego, Cmaddisoncreations, and Age of Bricks. More about Age of Bricks later in the video section. Anyway, here we have some very cool medieval style builds with this coniferous tree with different design and different choices. Here you can see also something from official Lego sets. Very cool. Go and check it out. And now let's move to New Elementary. First article by Thomas Jenkins, a review of the Shire, the new Lord of the Rings set. I don't remember if I featured this already last episode, but anyway, if I did, I will mention again, because there are some very cool new prints in this set. So if you cannot get the set, these are definitely some parts that you have to look into get for your own Lego creation, for your own mocks, because these are very interesting print parts, as well as the one that were in the Rivendell a couple of years ago. Similar thing here for the Beauty and the Beast cast review by Tobymac. A cool set with some interesting printed parts, in particular these big transparent windows and also this smaller printed one that would definitely be very useful. Now on to Brick Nerd. John Cooper give us a community headline and highlights from March, so all the things that you have to read and see from the Lego community in the month of March. You can see over here we have the past episode of my episode of This Week in Bricks. Thank you for the feature. And then you can scroll on and see articles, videos from all different blogs and channels and so on. A very interesting recap to go and check out. Then John Cooper here again has an article about Lego changing their logo from race to recess. This is one of those April Fool's article that been popping out in all the different blogs, and I think this was the most interesting and I think the more believable one compared to other that are a little bit too crazy. So this was a quite interesting article. Go and check it out. Now, this very important if you are into mock building. Geneva Durand have this article about building with purpose. So here basically she is explaining how you need to design your mock based on what the mock is made for. So if you are building something for a convention, for a display, that's what you need to have in mind. But if you're building for a competition, like I often do for contest, the only thing you need is actually the photo. So sometimes you can cut corners. You don't need to have a complete build. You can see, for example, here the back side. It doesn't have to be finished because you only need to take a nice photo of that. And actually is also good because if you then decide to bring this to a convention, you can always work on it and expand it and polish it. The other way around is a little bit more difficult. If you create something for a convention, for a display, not all the time that it's easy to photograph or to modify in order to have a nice photo. So take this into account and read this article. It's very interesting. Also, they posted just a few hours ago this interview by Inez Vasquez with Tamami Takado, which is known on Instagram as Lego Nano 1. Amazing builder, and here she has her display of Disney related stuff and Habitats related stuff at the Lego house. So here we have a nice interview with her experience with building Lego, and we can see also some very cool habitat or expanded habitat Disney related. Very cool. You can see this very beautiful staircase that of course remind me of the Beauty and the Beast castle just came out that we mentioned a few moments ago. Now, let's move on to the Brothers Brick. We have an interesting feature here by Jake Forbes about some interesting tree technique that he will be using to modify this forest hideout set. So what we are using here is the how are they called? The antlers, the minifig antlers in green. So you can see over here some very interesting techniques to get the branches, and then this is the result with this quite big tree with a little bit smaller type of foliage, but I think this is a very interesting experiment. I actually don't have any of those antler pieces. Maybe I should get some, because I think this could be very useful. Maybe not just for trees, but you could use that for some sort of grass pieces, I assume, for some landscape. I will need to get my hands on some of those. We also have this very cool build by Sybrin Hendrikx. This is the police cruiser from Disney Lilo and Stitch. Very, very slick design, very nice use of, I guess, stickers there in some parts. Very, very well designed, very nice rounded curve achieved in this build. Another highlight on Brothers Big this week is this very tiny one. You know, I like small builds. This is by Nikita Filatov, and it's probably the smallest ever castle. Very, very small and very thoughtful parts usage for the towers of this castle, made with those binocular pieces, but also probably the smallest boat that you can get. Only 2 pieces, I guess, with an ingot and the tile on top. So very, very nice little build. Today we're also going to feature Eurobricks, because there was a very cool build built by Codyaner, which is the midi-scale Eye of Sion from the Ahsoka TV series. So you can see the Eye of Sion with the Throne's Chimera in the middle. 1,700 pieces, very, very cool. I love this also because of all those golden accents, and it's really, really well done and remind me perfectly of the ship and the design that we see in the TV show. I think instructions for these are available on Rebrickable, as well as is a bigger play scale version with over 5,000 pieces. Now let's move on to the contest. Toys and Bricks Forum, new contest going from April 1st to May 31st, is a May the 1st contest. Like the previous one, we need to shrink down, build a micro scale version of a bigger Lego set, keeping the piece count below 300 parts. The previous contest just finished was the same contest, but not related to Star Wars. We had some other cool submission towards the end. In particular, I like this one from Mbmocs, which is a master builder when we are talking about microscale. And he has this Deku piece made with 300 pieces, instantly recognizable. You also have the little characters on the side. This is a very, very cool design. You can see also some play features at the back. Very, very cool. Another contest that just finished is the Imperial March, organized by Brick Nerd. Some very cool builds towards the end as well. This one is probably my favorite character build of the contest this season, by Oscar Cederwall, Nunb. Very, very cool. I like how he achieved all these nice shapes on the face of the character, all the rounded shape and diagonal build on the torso, on the neck, on the hair. Very, very cool. Perfect part usage. Character instantly recognizable. We also have, for the characters category, this Roger made by Louis of Natwood, that is going a little bit outside the medieval build, which is most famous for, but I think he's going to have a shot for the overall winning category of the Imperial March, because he not only built this, but he built this amazing dark side of Dagobah. This is, of course, for the Rebuild the Galaxy scene. Very good landscape. Love all those trees, all those branches going in every direction. Very organic. Very cool build. And you also have a very good vehicle spaceship category build with this no speeder. Very, very well done. I love also that little details on the stand. Marchitecture also just finished. We had a few last minute submission here as well. I like this one by Joel Short. I was not familiar with the original building, which is the Vancouver Public Library, but once I see this comparison, then I clearly understand, and I realize how well this is built, and also the part usage here is very cool, with those one pieces connected still with the sprue to create all the side of the build. Very clever part usage. And again, we have Mbmocs, we just mentioned him previously. We have the Temple of Time. Very, very cool build. This is also from the Legend of Zelda. I like the subtle space that there is on those steps on the stairs. So those, I guess, are I don't know if are regular tiles or maybe panel pieces, but you can see a little bit of that space underneath. Is very nice and subtle. But the best part usage must be in the center. If you look at those small arches, those is the bottom of droid legs, of droid minifigure legs. Very, very cool part usage. Now, we were talking about the Rogue Olympics. Now we are at round 4. The prompt of round 4 was trash. So here I did my trash talking build. Very, very fun building this one. Exactly 101 parts. But first, let's see what were my favorite builds from round 3, which are now we are voting for. So we are third Fred Capo with a Uno reverse. The topic of round 3 was backwards. So this fits very well. We also have Bricklayers with Frederick Burns from The Simpsons. Very, very cool character build again over here. Very cool part usage. Instantly be recognizable. Umi Ward with a very well built Taco Cat. I guess this also goes in the characters category, and there is some amazing parts usage. There's even some parts that I'm not sure if I ever seen before, especially those green one at the back. Very, very well built. I love also those googly eye. I should get some of those printed parts as well. Then we have Sympathetic Brick with a very good nostalgic build. So we have this audio cassette with the pencil to rewind back the tape, and also at the bottom a little yo-yo. That was one of those games that you can throw back and forth, down and up when we were kids. Very cool build, very nostalgic. We also have Beta Brick with the upside down. So this is a very cool little build that reminds us of the very beautiful Lego set that they did about Stranger Things official set. So we have the upper, the regular war on top, and then the underside with the Demogorg there at the bottom. Very, very nice little build. Last one that I really like was this Hummingbird by Flat and Brick. Very, very, very well designed. Again, here some very cool part usage, in particular those fins that come on the side for the wings that connect with the clip on the surfboard. Very, very cool part usage. Now, my suggestion for Lego ideas, we are with the Hendrikx. This is the artist behind this build, which is called Lego Kimonos. Already almost 6,000 supporters, so go and check it out. We can make it this to 10,000. A very beautiful design of these kimonos, of these dresses on these two ladies. Again, today the main focus is character building, so this is definitely very good, and I think it would look very, very well on display as well. And you can see as well here, even though it's a digital build, there is some very, very interesting parts usage. Anyway, now let's move on to the last section, which is the YouTube section. Let's start with Hachiroku24, that is back at building amazing stuff. We have a Pokemon build with a Bulbasaur diorama. A very, very cool build. I always recommend to watch him also because you can see all the building process and the build properly, nice and well. Sometimes I need to cut corners. Everything he built is nice and solid, like an official Lego set. So I'd recommend you to go watch his video and learn from him. Next up, we have Age of Bricks. We were talking about him earlier before. A new mock about Lego Atlantis, Getaway of the Squid. So this is a sort of new take of remake of a old Atlantis set with a nice base and a lot of sea life all around it. Very, very good. Next up, we have Earth Bricks. We featured these videos before, this series of him building this sort of castle diorama. Very, very nice. This, I think, should be the last expansion with the addition of new foliage and a few modifications. Go and check it out because there are some really cool techniques to learn from with this mock. Moving on, we have my friend Break Knight, which is keeping on expanding his massive Rivendell layout. We have some more tall rock work over here at the base, but you can see also how the whole building is coming together. It's huge. I can't wait to see that in person. Very, very cool. Then the first thing that we featured on today's video was I bricked it up, and here we actually have the YouTube channel. I just discovered it, just subscribed, very good. And we have a video about those for sports logo that we mentioned at the beginning of the video. You can go and check out the video to see better how they are built. So here you can see, like, I do a lot of mocks, tutorials and tips. So I love to watch this type of channel. If you enjoy my channel, then you should go and check out this one as well. On my channel this week, I posted 2 new habitats with some very cool minifigures from the Series 12, the Space Miner and the Swashbuckler. I think those are some of my favorite habitats that I built in a while. I also have a vlog video for members only, with the behind the scene of this and of all my submission for the Rogue Olympics, with a new video coming next week about the first 4 builds for the Rogue Olympics. If you want to support the channel, please consider to do your Lego shopping on Amazon US. I will put some affiliate link down below, no extra cost for you. Talking about characters, we have the Simba Lion King set, 14% off, very well designed set. I love this one. And going back to Star Wars, we have R2-D2. This one is $80, 20% off. So if you are planning to get this one, you also have a nice, cool minifigure with it. Otherwise, please consider to leave a like, leave a comment, share my video, subscribe to my channel, or go and watch some of my previous videos. Here you have the full playlist with all the previous episodes of This Week in Bricks. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.